All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. We are presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. Stoic. Oh.
No rain. Stay away.
Well, I took a photo.
Let's go, AccuWeather boy. What does it say?
AccuWeather's
By the way, you better put some respect on the name because it nailed it yesterday at 3 o'clock.
AccuWeather.
You had like 5 drops on your windshield. I got
rained.
nothing till 5:30.
It rained
right when
here.
I got on my mower to try
I'm not
to
at
mow.
your house, Gibbe. We're doing this from here. Remember we set that? It has to be this place. And at this place, it said it's going to rain at 3 o'clock.
Well, it looks like the wrath of God is coming now.
Well,
I
now
think you're
AccuWeather says so.
You're back.
We're supposed to. Oh yeah, never been gone.
Rain in 12. Oh no, that's
Mine says at 3:10, which is our the time of the great match. It looks like it's going to rain for 2 straight hours. But I'm not afraid, dude. I'm not
starting
afraid.
in 6 minutes here.
I'm not afraid.
6 minutes is what we're looking at.
I am not afraid.
Storms likely for the next several hours, gusty winds and small hail.
Not afraid.
Gibbe,
match
are you
must
playing
go
golf
on.
today? Or
I'm
trying
not.
to?
That's why he doesn't care.
This is my last day.
He's getting ready to go to Italy. He doesn't care at all.
You got your big Italy adventure ahead of you.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
I do care.
No, he's like, I want you to get rained out.
I do care. However, you're leaving your job 30 minutes early to go play in a match that I don't think is going to happen.
No, that's also true. That's a lock.
Oh, it stinks. The crazy thing is, in the
oh my God, yeah, you have no chance.
If this show were to change times,
That's exactly. I'm like,
someday,
look at there's a line of
I would
red
have been
and
able
yellow.
to play this morning.
You could have.
If that would to ever have happened.
I wouldn't have been able to play this morning, as it turns out.
No.
When is your match?
3:10.
3:10 is your match?
Yep.
What do you are, PR department? Everything 3:10?
No, that'd be 3:02.
3:05, 3:02.
3:02. No, 3:10.
You're done. I mean, you got lightning, and then it's right back at it at 4. 71%. Yeah, I mean, you got lightning, buddy.
But after
it's
5,
not the rain, it's the lightning. Then you should be freewheeling after that.
Yeah, but if you get a heavy rain, is it going to shut it down?
It's just going to depend on drainage.
this stinks.
Buddy,
what this means is
your
we're going to
spirit
be
animal. Your
a coin
spirit
flip.
animal has strep.
All right, so that explains.
So that's outrageous to be getting strep Memorial Day week.
Dude,
Come on.
I'm affected right now by the
I can
change
hear
in the
you.
temperatures
Yeah,
and the
I know.
I'm a little
barometric
concerned
pressures.
by both of you possibly being infected before I get on a plane.
So why you're gone?
What
Get out of
You don't
here.
have anything to worry about. It's not your
Not
problem.
caring
your
about
problem.
Either one of you two.
Of course not.
caring
You're
about
selfish.
me getting sick.
You're not
You're
going
not
to
gonna get sick.
And then you're going to soak in the rays of the Mediterranean,
Yeah.
sucking down olive
Just because
oil
I
and
gave
wine.
you, just
Friday,
because I
a
gave you a
little
couple
rain.
of kisses to get you ready for Italy, it doesn't mean anything. You're gonna be fine.
When do you fly? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Know who I saw in the airport
I don't.
the other day, coming home from O'Hare, and we shared a nice embrace, a high five, and said he's doing great. Cream Hunt.
How about it?
Well,
How about
he
it?
was just walking right down the.
Yeah. There it is.
Obviously a native of the area.
Yeah. Well, that's good to see. That's very good to see.
look
So,
great.
can we say this out loud? Who's going to be on with us? Do we have an exact time so I can say?
I'm told 120.
All right.
His people have confirmed.
The
But
kid is
he has
currently
to call
faking
in.
an illness to get out of a meeting that he's currently in, so that he can be dialed in at 120. It's his favorite athlete of all time.
Well, I think if you are a Michigan fan, he would be. And I think even if you are not a Michigan fan, he is on a short list of the coolest college football players of all time. And he's going to be, he is a limited partner in ownership with us. So Charles Woodson will join the program at 120.
That's right. Limited partner with the Cleveland Browns. And I say anytime that you can add, and how many people, Bill Bishop, I feel like you would be the right person to ask this. How many people have pulled off the following? Heisman, college national champion, Super Bowl champion, and then, in his case, first ballot, but Hall of Famer.
All right. So you need national champion, Heisman. Okay.
Super Bowl champ, and in the Hall.
You need to start. You're going to need to start with the jumping off point for this is going to be the Heisman, and then you're going to cross reference Heisman's
So I feel like
with national champions.
is Marcus Allen a Heisman?
Marcus Allen did win the Heisman. They did win a national championship.
They did win a Super
He did
Bowl.
win a Super Bowl, and he did
Make it.
walk it right into
All
the
right,
Hall
so
of
we got
Fame
Mark-
on the first ballot.
So we got
I
Marcus
think
Allen. Tony Dorsett, maybe?
Tony Dorsett won a Heisman. Pitt did win a national championship. Was he there when they won it? Would think he would have had to have been. And then, I'm pretty sure that's Johnny Majors. And then, yes, he would be Hall of Fame, and he would be a Super Bowl.
So it's going to be easier with the running back. It's going to be a little bit different with the he's a Super Bowl champ.
National champion. Did he win a national title at Pitt?
Let's see.
That's the one that's kind of out there in terms of. It's easier to do this. Like if you just had, I think the easiest way to do this is
Take the
just
Heisman
list
list.
Heisman winners. All right. So to me we don't want to do all this stuff from like the 30s. That'd be
No.
nonsensical.
So
Modern
Marcus
era.
Allen, yes.
Marcus Allen did win, and he did.
Tim Brown.
Tony Dorsett won the Heisman at Pitt in 1976. Notre Dame didn't win a national title when Tim Brown was there.
No, they
So-
didn't even tie for one?
No, they won it the year after he left. He was there in '87. They won it in '88.
Was that-
Pitt won?
Was that Rocket?
Pitt went number 1 in 1976, and they were national champions.
All right,
so Tony
Dorsett.
Dorsett and Marcus Allen are your guys on that.
Chucky Wood. He's probably going to be. He definitely was going to be the only defensive player.
Herschel Walker is not in the Hall of Fame, and I don't think he won a Super Bowl.
Earl Campbell win a national title?
No.
No.
None for Bo. The Hall of Fame part is the other real tricky one.
Yeah, it's a big part.
So
Gosh, what
I
a
don't know.
talk about like a not great pro stretch for the Heisman's. Winky in 2000, Eric Crouch 2001, Carson Palmer good 2002, Jason White 2003.
They went a whole stretch where they just gave it to best quarterback on best team. Was kind of their thing, and then it flipped. It really flipped with Reggie won it.
Did
Did
Derrick
Mark
Henry-
Ingram? Mark Ingram won a national title. He's not
not a Hall of Famer, though.
No. Nor would he be when he's eligible. But
he is. He's quite eligible, I think. Don't you think?
Ingram,
5 years out.
is he? I don't think he's 5 years out already. Maybe I could be wrong. Yeah, probably is because he's
No,
been on
he's-
Fox for a while.
3 years out. Will not be a Hall of Famer though.
No, Cam Newton. Oh no Super Bowl. No Super
No
Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Played for one, but didn't win one.
It's off the top of my head, I thought it was
Jameis
gonna be
doesn't have a Super Bowl, and he's not a
He's
Hall
not
of
gonna be a
Famer.
Hall- yeah.
No. Derrick Henry
So it needs a Super Bowl.
needs the Super Bowl.
He won a national title at Bama.
Yep.
Yeah, so he needs this. He needs the Super Bowl. It's a small list.
Burrow
needs
the
a
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. It's a very small list.
I mean, right now, from what we can tell, it's a list of 3.
Yes,
It's a great bar question with your friends.
and he will.
list of 3.
Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
He will be forever, and I feel confident saying this. He will forever be the only defensive player to do it.
I don't know about that. Ndamukong Suh got very close. Manti Te'o finished second. Chase Young was a finalist. They've gotten close. We're more open to it than we've ever been over the last 10 or 15 years to the best player. The thing you have to remember about Chuck is punt return too,
Well, what I was
and
gonna
he
say,
did play offense. Not like Travis Hunter, but he did play offense.
But the other part of it is on a team that the best player is a defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
It feels to me, in the future of college football as it evolves and there's so much scoring, it's hard for me to imagine if like the Heisman Trophy winner being on a national championship team as a defensive player.
Oh,
is why
yeah.
when his
It's
quarterback get it.
difficult. Yeah. Chase Young was probably the close. If Chase Young was suspended for 2 or 3 games in 2019, he would not have won it because Burrow did what he did in 19, and so he wouldn't have got there. But he finished, I think, 3rd or 4th in the balloting, and he missed some games. That's probably close. Yeah, you're right. It's the Heisman. If your point is, I thought when you said that, I think that no other defensive player will ever win the Heisman. You're
No, I
saying,
mean to do
no
this.
to do this. Oh yeah, that.
He might be the only one
ever
Ever.
to do that. I mean, it's pretty wild that you don't have a quarterback who's done it. Now you got a chance with Burrow.
Burrow's the best chance.
He's your
for it.
best chance coming for that, and he's certainly on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Because, I mean, as good as, for example, Jaden Daniels, after 1 year, looks amazing, but didn't win a national title.
No, I mean,
That's that part
Cam's
of it
already
is-
done. So, and Cam will be an interesting Hall of Fame kind of guy. Yeah, so that's it. So it's the national champion. The idea that there's not a quarterback who's done it, and Burrow, if he keeps playing, will be a Hoff, and then he also needs that Super Bowl.
I mean, there's no point going way back, but I'm trying to see if we could find somebody that would maybe, like Paul Hornung probably did it.
No, he won the Heisman. They had a losing record at Notre Dame when he won the
So
Heisman.
then, nope. All right.
So
good.
that's not to say that they didn't win a Heisman earlier on in his career.
Staubach definitely wouldn't have won a national title at Navy.
No, he did not.
So no.
No. I did not know Roger Staubach was from Ohio either. Did you know that, Gibbe?
I did not.
Yeah.
Here's
I did not
one.
know that. Cincinnati.
Here's one, because I know he won a Super Bowl, but it would be very hard for me to think that he won the national championship at Stanford. Jim Plunkett.
No, he did not win the national
Okay,
title at
so
Stanford.
nope. So that's it. We got the list.
Yeah. I mean, you could go, I don't know anything like about Johnny Lujack or, Doc Blanchard. Like, did Johnny Lujack
No,
win a title with?
I don't know.
I'm sure he won a national title at Notre Dame, and he won a Heisman at Notre Dame. Did he also win like a Super Bowl or a championship with the Bears? I have no idea. But that's how far back you got to go to find it. There just aren't any.
No championships in the NFL.
I feel pretty good about that. That it's those three. That it's Dorsett, Allen, and Woodson. That's
College
pretty
football,
crazy.
Nate is pretty proud that he threw out Allen and Dorsett as the.
Yeah, it was a good job out of
as
you.
the two.
It's a very good job out of you.
Pretty proud of that.
The
College football, Nate's really come a long
You've
way.
come a
under,
long
under
ways.
your tutelage. I'm like
well,
a sponge.
you do what you can.
Osmosis.
Yeah, that's the list. As
That
it
is
were.
the list.
It's a very, very short list of guys.
Burrow's
who do it.
really the only one
He's the only one who's got a chance.
that has a chance.
'Cause there's
Certainly
not-
the only quarterback, but I think he's really he's the only one, period, that has a chance. Right? Hunter, non-national champion. Daniels, non-national champion. Williams, non-national champion. Bryce Young.
He won a national. No, he did not. They did not win a national title. when Bryce Young
Devontae
was
Smith.
there.
So he's
They
got
did.
a Super Bowl. He's
They
got
did.
a Heisman.
They
And
did. Devonta Smith did. He did win a national
so
title.
he has a chance. He's alive.
2020.
He needs to become a
2020
Hall of
Alabama
Famer,
did.
which feels a bit far-fetched. But
I don't think Bryce Young was on Alabama in 2020. I don't think he was.
Bryce Young was there, national champion 2020. Yes, he was.
Okay, so he was on, but that was
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones was the quarterback, so he was the backup that year.
All right,
Okay, so he's got a chance.
He's got a chance.
I mean, it's far-fetched. He's a long ways from.
Burrow needs a Super
Derrick
Bowl.
Henry is close.
Burrow needs a Super Bowl. Devontae Smith needs to make the Hall of Fame. Bryce Young still needs a Super Bowl and Hall of Fame. Derrick Henry will just need a Super Bowl.
He just needs a Super Bowl. Yeah, Derrick Henry could join this list.
Which would be amazing. 3 running backs and then Chucky. That's why Chucky Wood is such an
Iconic.
outlier. I have, not that I still don my jerseys, but I have a number 2, Michigan.
Yeah,
Chucky Wood, Navy.
the Navy, yeah.
And then I have, because he just looked so good in it, I have the Raiders, the silver and black 21.
Yeah, that's
Because
a
that
money.
was just, he looked so good as a Raider.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah, and then he ended up being with the Packers, and then I love that he came back to the Raiders at the end of his career.
Yeah, he won Defensive Player of the Year in Green Bay.
Won Defense Player of the Year in Green Bay in 2009, led the NFL with 9 picks and 3 pick sixes that year. 9. They got him 9 times. His last year in the league, at the age of 39, he had 5 picks and was a second-team All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. At 39.
I just had this conversation last night with my buddy Kyle, who's a big Michigan guy and loves Woodson and all of that. It is so incredibly fortunate that he had the career he had, because there's never a conversation about the Heisman, and he was the right guy to get it for sure. But there was so much for Peyton Manning to win it that year, and the finalists were Manning, Randy Moss, Ryan Leaf, and Chucky Woods. That's it.
3
That's
out
your
of 4.
Yeah, and that's a wild amount of talent with 3 of them gold jackets.
Like first ballot.
First ballot
in the game.
Absolutely.
In the
Those
game.
3 guys are in the ultimate game of all time.
Yep.
But no one ever talks about it because of how great not only how great Woodson was in college, like you think of the Michigan, that's it, it's him. But then he backed it up by being a first ballot Hoff
Yep.
in the NFL.
Yep.
I mean, that's just a remarkable career. One of the great careers in football history, as is very obvious. So he'll be joining us here in about 5 minutes from now. A couple of things really quickly from the NFL owners' meetings. The tush push remains.
Of course.
Of course. I can't believe 22 people voted against it, honestly. I just don't understand. Like, if you just stop it or you do it.
It's ridiculous. Agreed. They're better at it. Then they wanted to just ban all pushing, and I said on the show, I was like, that takes play that awesome play in Baltimore.
Yeah.
No good. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. So we have a little bit of sanity remaining at the NFL owners' meetings. We'll have more on those a little bit later on.
Here's something from ML Football, and I don't know if this is real or not, but it says
Easy.
the NFL is implementing the Protector of the Year award, which will
That
go to
is
the
a
league's
real
best
thing.
offensive line. Hoff is like an 8-time winner of that award.
I was going to ask at some point in the show, how many do you think he would have won?
Hoff, Protector of the Year.
Yeah.
7.
A lot. Like, probably every year he was the
a
first
hot
team
take from you,
All-Pro.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Hot- real hot
I
at
think he would have
once.
won a lot of them, Gibbe, is the answer on that. Yeah, it's a lot.
Other breaking news just in from Adam Schefter. Hard Knocks training camp this year. No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
That's going to be fun. Pressure cooker. Pressure cooker.
It's only going to be fun if Allen is a big-time participant.
He's got to be.
Well, he doesn't have to be. We had a Hard Knocks here, and our people weren't. So,
Well,
I know. But, it was the Rogers show a couple years ago in New York. So, how big of a role did – because that's all anyone's going to want to see is the Allen stuff.
you're going to want to see Allen. You're going to want to see just kind of some of the McDermott's kind of under fire for some of the things that he has said and certainly done over the last few years. So I think you're going to want to see that. And then I think you're going to want to get a sense of, we said, they're under more pressure. I think it'll be palpable if this is a team that is feeling the heat or is just it's Super Bowl or bust, period. This season is a failure if we do not win the Super Bowl. Which is tough to say. You got to get there.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like it should be a failure for them if they don't get there.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be good. They'll do a good job with that. Perhaps the man who burst this show from his loins will be featured prominently.
I'd love to see that.
Love to see the great Vic in the mix. One of the all-time greats, Charles Woodson, going to join the program coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. In Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. We the announcement came officially. Was it Monday? Where we got the official Charles Woodson announcement? Was that Monday night, or was it yesterday when it came official?
Yesterday, officially.
Yesterday,
It was
3:02.
3:02
broke.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Are you sure
right
it wasn't?
after we got off the air. Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I forget which one was which.
I know.
but
Well,
yeah.
we got it. Z was on his golf trip last week.
Yeah,
and
'cause
Diana Rossini reported it. We were
right,
like,
right,
whoa.
yeah. That's right. That's what I remember. All right, so you have some comments there, buddies. We await hopefully Charles Woodson joining us.
I do. Here's what Cleveland Browns managing and principal partners Dee and Jimmy Haslam had to say. Quote, Charles has left an incredible legacy on the field, forever engraving himself as one of the greatest collegiate and NFL players of all time. But the work he's continued to do off the field and his entrepreneurial spirit emphasize what a great fit he is for our organization. As he is an Ohio native, we're so thrilled to have Charles on board as a limited partner of the Cleveland Browns because he knows how much football means to this community. We know he will be instrumental in helping shape the future of the club through his insight and leadership, and we are looking forward to having him as a part of our ownership group. Number one, I think it's great. I mean, the fact that you can just have like Charles Woodson come in and speak to your team and be here and just be around whenever he wants is.
If we're able to connect with him, I mean, one of the things that I'm curious about is how much involvement does he want to have? Like,
Yeah.
what will he be at camp? Will he jump in position drills? Remember Vrabel just jumping in with things
man.
like,
Yeah, it's great.
like how much stake are you going to have in it? I mean, I think all of those things are I think it's a really cool thing the NFL does to first of all, and we'll hopefully talk to Charles about this, but like how this process went of like, hey, I'd like to get into ownership, and then kind of that process that he went through to eventually land here in his home state with the Browns. But it's, it's a really cool thing. It's this is kind of a layup for the Browns and for ownership to bring on somebody of this regard.
Yeah, it's phenomenal for the Browns. Said Charles Woodson, quote, growing up in Fremont, Ohio, it was a dream come true to play in the National Football League. In my wildest childhood dreams, I never considered the opportunity to become a limited partner of an NFL team, let alone the Cleveland Browns in my home state of Ohio. It is among my greatest honors to join the Haslam and Johnson families and the entire Haslam Sports Group to become a limited partner of the Cleveland Browns, one of the NFL's most storied franchises. Over the last year, I've enjoyed getting to know the leadership team at the Browns, and I'm excited about the opportunity to be part of the bright future for this team and to help be a resource for the entire organization as well as the NFL. I want to thank Dee and Jimmy Haslam for providing me this amazing opportunity, and Derek Higgins for presenting this rare opportunity to me and facilitating the process. We talked about Charles Woodson as one of the three players to do that quadruple there.
Yeah.
Heisman, national champion in college, Super Bowl champion, and, of course, Hall of Famer. He was Ohio's Mr. Football in 1994. Then at Michigan, he won the Heisman Trophy Award in 97, led the 1998 co-national champion Wolverines team, drafted as a fourth overall pick in the 98 NFL Draft, 18 seasons in the NFL, 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and a Super Bowl champion. Holds the record for the most consecutive seasons with an interception return for a touchdown with 6, tied for the most career defensive touchdowns in NFL history with 13, 65 career interceptions. He was inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021.
Yeah, I think anytime you can get a guy. I mean, it's interesting because of the ties to the state of Tennessee. There was a time when the Haslams first had ownership of the Browns that Peyton Manning was constantly linked. And, of course, Manning and Woodson are linked going back to their final years at Michigan and Tennessee, respectively, where the two guys went 1-2 in the Heisman. Charles kind of won it at the very end in the Michigan game, the Michigan-Ohio State game. He went ahead and won it. And then those two guys linked in their careers really forever as just standard bearers, and the idea that two guys, and really three because Randy Moss was a finalist in 98 as well.
Loaded.
It was the 97 season. So Ryan Leaf was the fourth. But three of those four guys are first ballot walk-in, come on in, boy, Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And they're also in that thing we always talk about, that ultimate game. All three of those guys are in the ultimate game.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's incredible.
Yeah. It is nuts. That it's all happening.
And this process has been going on for a while. Do you remember, like last season, he was on the sideline for a few games. So I think this courtship's been going on for a while. And
so is your guys' understanding of it that like a player, and just reading the release, that a player reaches out to the NFL, and certainly somebody like Woodson that'd be a pretty easy reach out. They're gonna return his call and says, this is what I want to do, and then they find a path, and then they find a willing team that's willing to be a part of it. That process is fascinating, though.
It is, and it's cool that he is an Ohio native. and that he gets to do this. I would imagine you're seeing maybe a little bit more of that now, right?
Yeah.
Brady and now Chucky Wood, and it's a fascinating thing as the NFL looks to expand its ownership base, and also, it's a small piece of what's going on here,
Sure.
but it's still Charles Woodson is a part owner of the Cleveland Browns. Like, that's awesome.
Dude, that association is an incredible one to have at your disposal, to have him. And then it's up to him how he wants to use it and what type of influence he wants to have. And, is he someone does he want to have a say? Does he want to be in on personnel meetings? Does he want to be in on the draft? Does he want to, give opinions on all of these things? Like, if you're bringing Charles Woodson in, I assume that you would lean on it and lean on the football acumen, which is quite honestly second to none. There aren't many people who are smarter football-wise than Charles Woodson has been over the course of his career.
Yep.
So, yeah, we were hoping to get him on. We're still waiting. I guess we're
We're
efforting, but
through his people right now.
we're seeing what's going on there on that side of things. So that's a pretty cool thing that has happened, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to him. But it's a win-win for everybody involved in this thing. You want to do the owners' meeting stuff here, or do you want to
Sure.
take a break? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, we don't. That's 2:00. I don't want to get too far into that.
Okay.
Choose your adventure, Gibbe. It's your last day.
Woof. No, it's fine. We can get into the owners' meeting stuff. The rest of the owners' meeting stuff. We can talk about how the Lions were the ones who had the proposal for the
Divisional.
and then pulled it because the league pushed them to submit it.
So
Do I have that
that's
right?
is that what's being claimed, that the
Yes.
league pushed the Lions to submit a divisionless? You and I
Yes.
are on different sides of that, but it's not a hill for me to die on. I don't care that much about it. I could argue both sides. I see your point of
I see your
if you
point.
win your division, there should be a reward for that. My side of it is not all divisions are created equal, and so that can go both ways. That argument,
That's what I said. I said,
You can get- however you want to phrase it.
yeah.
I do think that I like the idea of the NFL eventually getting to 8 teams and no buys, and one plays 8 and 2 plays 7, and in a traditional format. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like it's not a hill for me worth dying on to do that. So that one did not pass. The tush push did not pass. And then the other thing the one thing that did was the onside kick, where you can do an onside kick whenever you want.
Yeah, why not?
Which seems stupid anyway. That you wouldn't be able to just
Yeah,
do
why
that
wouldn't
whenever you
be
want
able to?
anyway.
Yeah.
Do you think you ever get back to a point where an onside kick's just an onside kick and you don't have to announce it?
No, because they're going to keep it's because of the formation. You couldn't do that.
But I'm saying eliminate
This
the
return,
formation and just go back to,
I don't think they will, because it's based on data that suggests it is safer for the players.
is it safer for the people in the first part of the collision or the back part? I would assume the back.
There isn't a back part now. There's only
No, but in the old
one-
way, when they went to this new way,
Yeah.
like in the old way, was there ever, I wonder what the data suggested, if it was the people on the front lines of the collision or the folks in the back.
I think it was just everybody because you had people sprinting
Full
down
sprint.
the full
My hunch
field
was
instead
a
of
full
10
lap.
yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the current one, yeah, I like the idea of not. I guess what I would like to do is reverse engineer it to where you have the surprise of it again, because that was Sean Payton doesn't win a Super Bowl without that surprise element,
Totally.
and
Hank
and
Basket.
that's out of the game now. That part of it is out of the game, and I think that's a little bit of a shame that they didn't. So.
Yeah, there's just no way to do it, because if you move the 10-yard collection part or collision part up so that you could do the onside kick and have the one guy back, your returns would be monstrous.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. Loyal listener, Reddit work. So if we do
Love
get
it.
Charles Woodson on, this is a pretty good one. He says Charles Woodson and Orlando Pace used to have some outstanding matchups in hoops as well. That would be.
So I played against Orlando Pace. I was in a melee in an AAU game.
Were you against Orlando? Did you throw hands on O-Pace?
No. We so the AAU team I played on was just all-stars.
Yeah, you had a
from
squad,
all over.
right?
Yeah, a couple NBAers.
It's amazing.
And so we're scrimmaging an older team.
Yeah.
The one with O-Pace. The one player on the team, older brother of our younger the younger brother was our starting shooting guard. The older brother was like an all-Ohio.
So what's
Real
your
deal
age here,
Holyfield.
Gibbe? Like, how old are you here?
I'm a sophomore in high school.
Sophomore. So you're playing seniors.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Grown men.
So
Pretty close.
we're
Makes a big difference. 2
Well,
years.
Yours is huge.
but it was like it. I don't even want to equate it to the team that went up and beat the Dream Team.
Yeah.
But like we walked in with no fear.
Yeah, sure. You had a bunch of dudes.
Like, let's go. We were playing at Sandusky High School. It was a scrimmage to just get some legs underneath us in advance of our national tournaments.
Yeah.
Opace is on this other team.
Yeah.
Well, the two brothers are jawing at each other right from the get-go.
Sure they are.
Like, before we even tip, there's already been warnings from coaches. Like, there were no refs. It was literally us. Okay, great. Except at this point, we all know where it's going.
Sure you do.
Lots of trash being talked. We get out to the early lead, and it's like, yeah, we're that good. We're going to be a problem for you today.
Yep.
It's going to be a full day.
Yep.
Older brother takes a shot at the younger brother, cheap shots him.
Yep.
Younger brother just takes the ball and basically from me to you just throws it at his head.
Love it.
Love that.
And it's on.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's a
Like,
fight
and
then,
we
it's
all
on.
knew, both sides knew, we're all in.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm running over there and I'm like, I don't know how to do this, but we're going to figure it out real quick. So we're all in there mixing it up, whatever. There's bodies on the ground. And all I know is that all of a sudden I don't have anything on the ground. No arms, no legs, and I'm being tossed airborne. As I land, another body's landing. And Orlando Pace is literally just walking through the pile. Doesn't matter if it's his team or our team, throwing bodies. He's just, I'm going to separate this right now because I'm not getting hurt doing this and playing this.
Great.
Jeez Louise.
I always think it's amazing when you have, in the Hoffs like this too, you have these guys that have this almost logic-defying strength.
Yep.
And even amongst ultra-strong people,
Stands out.
they stand out.
Oh, yeah.
And Opace had that. There was that video last week. I don't remember where you were, but there was the video a couple of weeks ago of Ryan Shazier with his like welcome to the NFL moment, and it was the Hoff just burying him in the ground, and he was like, "Oh, he runs that fast and he's that strong." Because no one could ever block Ryan Shazier at Ohio State. Nobody could block him. You couldn't get near him. But Joe got his hands on him and just buried him, and then they had the video of Joe just burying him. So that was, even amongst the greats, those that are superior stand out. Yeah.
By the way, Hoff's selling his fishing boat. He just tweeted about it. So
Oh, is he?
yeah,
Is it docked here, or is it docked in the fine state of Wisconsin?
it looks like it's on the Craigslist in Eau Claire.
Okay.
Selling my fishing boat. Boat was used only a couple times per summer on some small lakes in Wisconsin. Very low hours, good condition, 37.5K. Touring package, boat and trailer, Yamaha, motor. See data sheet for all their options included. One owner, less than 2,500 miles on the trailer.
He's ready to go.
Ready to go.
There you go.
Chuggy Wood tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
He is running behind. His son is at a 7-on-7 tournament.
Well, I can
Well, there
empathize
you
with
go.
that. I know how that goes.
So tomorrow,
Tomorrow. We'll get it all locked in.
but
and
we've
get
got
that
a
working.
pretty loaded show already.
Yeah.
1 o'clock. Joe
Easy.
No, Batonio,
Easy.
he's got an event he's promoting.
So he has to.
And
He has to
NFL Network confirmed the other one.
go. Okay.
So.
All right. Well, we'll anticipate that a great deal. We'll
I
take
look
a
forward
look.
to letting you all down tomorrow.
We'll take a look.
You'll
at
be
the,
gone.
Yeah, you'll be gone. You won't even be caring. You'll be sucking down nice Super Tuscan somewhere, Gibbe.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at the sports Emmys. Also, something from Mary Kay at Cleveland.com. We'll get into that a little bit as well. That's coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place that first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. What was your guys' relationship to Cheers, the television show?
Obviously, it was on a lot in my house when I was a kid. I remember that. It was thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, my dad was Cliff Clavin was the nickname. It's a little known fact that before Google came and ruined his whole gimmick.
That had to crush him.
Yeah. I mean, Sam Malone is an iconic character.
Yeah.
Norm, obviously, R.I.P.
the
Yeah, of
great
course.
George
Yeah. I watched a lot of Cheers.
It's pretty amazing that he passed yesterday at 76.
Yes.
So Cheers went off. Brock, you have no idea what Cheers is, do you? Or just from because Went died, did you have any point of reference?
Awesome theme song.
Great theme song. Yeah.
Sometimes you wanna go.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You, Gibby? You had to have it.
There's an 18.
So, go ahead.
As you said, there's an 18-minute video
Yeah.
that was going around. I think I retweeted it yesterday, and I know you don't follow me, so you can seek it out. That was 18 minutes non-straight of every Norm entrance into the bar from
That's
the entire
pretty great.
series.
There's
There's some pretty great
Yeah.
moments. Yeah.
Like, how many people know that, like, Fraser Crane
emanated from there.
emanated from Cheers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody?
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like the number of people that, got their
Oh,
start.
good job, Kev.
So this is what.
Put you in a good
you
headspace.
wanted to watch it. So at one time, the Indians games,
Yeah.
now the Guardians, used to be on Channel 43.
Okay.
WUAB was the home for Indians baseball. Okay? So Indians baseball games, anytime there was a rain delay, it became a Cheers marathon.
Oh, really?
They would have a Cheers marathon for a weekend in April. You could watch
Can we play
literally
ball? No,
8
but we can watch
episodes.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Winning.
We're just putting Cheers on.
That's a
loved
great
it.
theme song. I did too. I mean, it was on a lot in our house. It was probably the only sitcom I remember that my dad would watch. I don't remember him watching any other sitcom except that one. He would watch that one, which is weird because he wasn't a bar guy, but he loved it. And so he would watch that, and we would watch it as a kid. It did get me thinking, though, like, is that culture dead of what that show was based on? The neighborhood bar where you go on your way home from work to have a pop, is that experience still alive in America, or did
Yes.
cell phones maybe ruin it?
I think it's still alive. So, like, when we would go to Spodo's, there was always, like, regulars that were in there.
Yeah.
Like, that was part of their routine, was to go belly up at the bar.
You go to work, and then you go have a pop on the way home. You go
Yeah.
have dinner.
Yeah.
You do it all again tomorrow.
So, yeah,
corner,
I do. I think
Lakewood,
it's still happening.
Fat Little Buddies in Olmsted Falls.
So those still
Trolley
are, though.
House.
There's a group of regulars that are there most nights, and that still exists.
Sometimes it's 6 a.m. when the bar opens, but neither here nor there.
I do think it's been. I think some of it. I think it's taken a big hit by the cell phone, because that was your social experience in Americana.
Totally.
It was kind of the city hall, the community gathering place, with those type of things, and people would do that. And now you can be in constant contact with people who you never see for weeks on text chains.
Totally.
I mean, it's just, whereas in that time you had to physically go have a conversation with somebody. The other thing about it is it's probably the ideal. You guys all know how big of a fan I am of a proper bar. That is a proper bar.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is a square bar,
Yep.
leather-bound, belly-up chairs. Come on.
Yeah.
We're all talking TV. I mean, that's as
Yeah.
good as it gets.
Yeah.
That is – where was that bar we were at? The Browns Barkers?
Out in
Euclid? Was it
Euclid.
Euclid. That was a proper bar. Remember that place? That was last
Why am I blanking on it? Black Forest.
– yeah,
Black Forest. Yeah. Proper bar.
proper bar. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. So that was also pretty amazing that – so he died at 76, meaning that's almost – I mean, it's 40 years ago that show was on.
32 years to the day, the final episode.
Of the final episode. Okay. So watch that video of him and say and look at him and say that's a 44-year-old man. Because, like, we aged a lot quicker in those days.
Oh, yeah.
A lot quicker. Like, 40s was like, now with we've just gotten smarter in terms of everything.
Was he
and the way
part
we
of
go to
the
our business,
the
but, like, he was in
Bears?
his-
on
Oh yeah.
Yeah. On
when
Saturday Night
he
Live?
was. Yeah,
The
the
Bears.
Bears.
Yeah, of
Bears.
course.
Yeah. He was in that
But-
mix as well.
I watched something last night about him. Just saying, like, I liked it. I liked being Norm from Cheers, but like it totally typecast him, and he couldn't get anything after that.
I
Really,
think it's Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, right?
Yeah.
Like he could only ever be George. I think here's the deal though, you would probably have rather had that than not. So
I would
like,
agree.
Like I would rather be known. I remember like even Brett Mike oddly, I don't know what made me think of this, but remember Brett Michaels about this. It was at like a health and fitness expo in Columbus, and he was like the marquee guy that everybody wanted to meet. And I'm like, man, do you ever get tired of this? He's like, no, these are my people. Like, if you want me to do Unskinny Bop, that every rose has its thorn, I'll sing it every day, man. Like, this is my thing. And that was the way he viewed that. And I think if, both Norm and Cliff, they're forever those guys. And that was
Forever.
40-some years ago. Jason Alexander can be in anything, and he's going to always be George Costanza. And same thing with Kramer.
Yeah.
You're always going to be that. It's weird because Julia Louis-Dreyfus,
Elaine broke out of it
she broke free.
because she did a lot more stuff after.
Yeah, and maybe she was better.
Yeah.
Maybe she was just better. Maybe the reason that
Yeah.
you didn't get more stuff is you weren't better because Woody wasn't typecast. And, hell, even Ted Danson did a bunch of things after Cheers. And he was the face, and he did a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. He's unbelievable on Curb.
He's a real crud.
He's so good. It's perfect.
it's
He was great
fantastic.
on a show called Bored to Death that Jason Schwartzman did on
Yeah.
HBO that was really funny that he was on.
By the way, you want to talk about how people age differently now? Just guess the age of Earthquake in this
Oh,
picture.
jeez. I mean, so he looks like 56.
26. Guy's 26 in that picture.
Was he really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me, like, if you saw that guy today, you wouldn't think that he's in his mid-50s.
100%.
Yeah.
How
He was
old?
26.
26 years
Earthquake.
old.
He's not 26.
When in this picture right here, he was
Oh.
26. When he feuded with Hogan, he was 26 years old.
That seemed so forced to me. He just did not seem like a worthy...
He was great. The Natural Disasters were a great. Him and Typhoon. That was a great tag.
But were
team.
they fearsome, or was it
Yeah,
just
'cause
really
they're so
big?
big? They were just big.
They had no skill.
No, Tenta could move. Tenta was a sumo
Which one
wrestler.
was he?
Real life Earthquake.
Okay. He had some
Tenta
moves.
could move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing with Cheers. Like, NBC Thursday nights
Oh, God, yeah, it's over.
with and we talked about the theme song, but like the theme song from Friends.
Well, they went a run, Gibby. Think about it. They
Seinfeld.
went Cheers into Seinfeld into Friends on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Like one after another.
And then
That-
they went like, wasn't it
Then The
Saint
Office.
Elsewhere into ER or
Yeah, there was some of
something
that too,
like
but
that,
it
like
was
the 10 o'clock drama.
it was four. Yeah, it was 2 hours of comedy and then the 10 o'clock drama. That's where they launched ER. Was on Thursday
Yeah.
night.
Yep.
Was there. Yeah, that's all cooked. That's all done. None of that exists anymore. Like watching that. That's why you're going to get, NBA games on 4 nights a week
Sports Element.
on NBC because it's the only thing. The rest of the stuff it just doesn't rate like that the way that it used to. But 88 million people watched the finale of Cheers.
That was a good
88
finale,
million
too.
people. Yeah. Well,
Like-
he has the last conversation with Sam.
Yeah.
Norm does.
Oh,
So yeah.
I watched it this morning.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was a very good one. I should pay off on the tease here. Cleveland.com's Mary Kay Cabot reported yesterday that Deshaun Watson has taken his Achilles rehab to the next level. He's throwing to Jerry Jeudy and David Bell inside the Browns facility. Per sources, she adds, been out of boot for weeks. I would just say really isn't an example of this being anything less than a year. Like it's a year every
especially
time.
when it's the second one. It's
Yeah. So the boot being off and him throwing, that doesn't mean it's a ramp up
no.
to camp.
No. Agreed.
Yeah. It's just probably still the process of it. We had Sports Emmys hosted last night by I've never heard of Roy Wood Jr., but here are some of the top awards. Outstanding playoff coverage goes to NBC for their NFL playoffs. They got a big cast on that, right? That's like Maria Taylor and
Chris
Jason Garrett and
Sims
Chris Sims
Garrett
and
and the coach
all that group.
and
Yeah.
the guy sitting in section 135, row 14, seat 4. Like, who else wants to be?
They got a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't even think this is the best incarnation of their studio show. I thought the Dan Patrick one was stronger, but so they win
Agreed.
outstanding
DP was so
playoff
good.
coverage. To me, I feel like either inside the NBA but he entered the NBA, probably won something else down here. The other one that's really good is the TNT NHL one is awesome.
Really?
Yeah, with Paul Bissonnette. That's a really strong studio show that they have there as well. Outstanding weekly studio show, College Game Day, is the winner on that. Yeah.
Fine with it.
Yeah. I don't think anything in sports entertainment captures the mood of what you're about to broadcast like College Game Day.
Yep.
It sets a tone. They tried to do it in the NFL. It just didn't work. Outstanding studio show daily, NFL Live. This is our buddy Dan Orlovsky.
Orlovsky, yeah, congrats Orlovsky.
So he brings one home there. Outstanding personality studio host, Ernie Johnson. He's the best. The best in the business.
One of the best humans, too.
Really is. I remember being very young and going up to him and telling him like what he meant to me, and he was the kindest dude and asked questions. Just awesome human being. Really cool.
Yep.
Outstanding personality, play-by-play, Joe Davis of Fox and FS1. I can't say that I could pick out his call. You got anything on him, on a Joe Davis?
Who did he work with?
He's on Fox FS1
Is he with-
baseball, I assume.
It's got to be baseball.
So he's got to be the replacement for Buck on baseball?
I mean, to me, the answer. This one should have been. This should have been Buck. Obviously, Nance and Ian Eagle. Those are the three that come to mind for me.
Yeah. As kind of an offshoot, I like Harlan a lot.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
But I think Buck is throwing
Gas.
fastballs right now. I think he's really
Aikman's
crushing
throwing
it.
gas too.
He is, yeah. Aikman.
So Joe Davis, Fox Sports MLB coverage, lead announcer for Fox MLB. Also Fox NFL play-by-play with Greg Olson.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know who he is then. Okay. Outstanding personality studio, Charles.
So he's Fox's number 2.
He's their number 2 football,
Yeah.
number 1 baseball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Charles Barkley, sure. He's the best. No doubt.
You could give it to
I
him.
just think he's best personality. I don't know that he's a studio analyst at this point.
does some He'll analyze some stuff
He does
for you.
analyzing.
I think Kenny, if you want analysis, it's probably Kenny. But Chuck's the best personality in sports, period. Outstanding personality, event analyst, Peyton Manning. Now, he's outstanding, but how is that an event?
I don't think it's fair.
That's not fair at all.
That's the Manning cast that he's winning it for.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And in some
Boy,
ways,
he's
that's
better than his brother.
yeah, but in some ways, that's like a studio show. It's not the same. To me, that needs to be,
To me,
you know,
that's like,
Charles Davis or Aikman, who I think is
well, if
bringing
it's,
the heat.
if it's event analyst, to me, it's got to be like Immelman or
Aikman.
or Faldo or something. No, that Aikman's on every week.
But I think they're saying that is the analyst.
they have-
that goes with not studio analyst. That goes with the play-by-play guy.
Oh, well,
I
then
think
that's
that's what they're
definitely
saying.
not fair.
No, I don't think it's fair at all.
That's not fair at
'Cause
all.
he's not.
No, that's got to be.
He almost has its own niche.
It's like live,
category.
It's like a live podcast, is what that is.
Like it would compete with like McAfee when McAfee
Yeah.
does those alternate broadcasts, which should be outstanding alternate broadcast. And by the way, speaking of which, last night I didn't realize this, but I guess on my YouTube TV it listed both. I didn't realize there was the regular broadcast of the Thunder and the Timberwolves, which was I forget who was on the Breen.
Yeah, Mike Breen and them. Yeah,
Yeah, which Breen's great.
Breen's great. Yeah.
Then there was like an Insight broadcast.
Okay.
It was horrible. They're trying to get in. They're using like
was
computer
on it?
graphics that look like they're from the 1970s. Like, and then they're like, "Oh, we have these cool dunk stats when Anthony Edwards tried to dunk, but we can't use it because it was."
Who was on it?
It was the most amateurish thing ever. Hold on, I was able to Google it yesterday, so I can pull it up again. ESPN Insight Broad.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I don't think that's a cheat code for Manning because that's not analyst.
not what he's doing.
He's a host, honestly. He should go up, if anything, he
trying
should go
to
up against
find the
Ernie
list.
Johnson because he's the host of the Manning cast. He's not an analyst. He's the host.
Yeah.
Outstanding personality, emerging on-air talent, Nick Saban. What? What are we doing?
So they use these like cool graphics and stuff on this one. I'm trying to figure out who was the broadcasters though. Here it is. Ryan Ruocco,
Okay.
Kirk Goldsberry,
Okay.
and Tim Legler. It was just they were all over the place because it wasn't. They were kind of at times trying to do a regular broadcast, but not well. And then they were trying to talk about these things and then show these ridiculous graphics and stuff that looked so fake. It was
You know, I used to tell people
It was
that
awful.
I think this falls under this category kind of. Do you know why PTI works?
because they're
Because-
just good at talking.
Because Tony and Mike knew each other for 30 years, and they genuinely have affection for one another.
Yeah.
And they what they talk about, they actually believe in this. It's not manufactured.
Yeah.
That's why it worked for 30 years. It's worked, right? The reason the Manningcasts work is because of Peyton Manning and Eli Manning.
Yeah.
That's why it works. You can't just do it with anybody. It doesn't work. Others have tried it. In order for it to work. I mean, Manning is a charisma machine, and that's why it works.
So, real quick, the nominees for the Sports Emmy Award in the Outstanding Personality Event Analyst category. That's
Yeah.
the one Peyton Manning won. Troy Aikman,
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, Greg Olson, Bill Raftery, and John Smoltz.
Yeah, one is not
Smoltz
like
is-
the other.
they're-
Smoltz
yeah.
is
Smoltz is awesome.
Smoltz is
Yeah.
great.
Raftery is all time
legend.
legend
The
in every way. I mean, the fact that he still has it is incredible.
Oh, he's
But
got
yeah,
it in
no, that's not
spades.
fair. Manning should have been honestly. Manning would have been better off being in appropriately in the Ernie Johnson category as like a studio host. That's kind of more what he's doing. Nick Saban is emerging on-air talent is crazy. He was really good on game day, but I mean, it would absolutely. Who else was in
Yeah,
that
can you give us
category?
those nominees, Gibbe?
Oh, I just lost it. Hold
I mean,
on.
that would have to be. I
Fat
guess it's
fingers.
his. Is it his? I guess it was his first year. So you need a first-year guy or gal first
That's right,
year
we
on
had
the
it.
thing.
Was
got it
Jordan
right here.
Hudson nominated? Sorry.
The
She's gonna own
smallest
NFL
iPhone
films.
known
You
to
didn't know
I
that?
mean, she is an emerging
She's emerging on-air talent.
personality.
Personality emerging on-air talent. Ryan Fitzpatrick,
Okay.
Jason Kelsey, Nick Saban, Richard Sherman, who's already on. And Jay Wright. Jay
I
Wright's
think
pretty
Ryan.
good.
I would have voted for Ryan Fitzmagic. I enjoyed Ryan Fitzmagic on the Amazon.
Jay Wright's really good, but he's not emerging.
No, he's already
been
there.
He's been around for a long time. Same thing with Fitz and Sherm. They both have been doing it's at least year 2 for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason Kelsey would be new. And then outstanding writing long form in season with the AFC North Hard Knocks. I do think that, and they're doing the NFC North, or I'm sorry, NFC East this year on
That'll
the
be
in-season
good,
Hard
I think.
Knocks. I think that is a chance to be very good. Plus Jerry's familiarity with them and the way he plays along with them is very good. I do think that the NFL films, two-a-days, I don't have a hunger for the in-season one the way that I do, the normal Hard Knocks. But the way that they write it and the way that Liev Schreiber narrates it
Is good.
is tough to beat.
I actually enjoy. Well, we
I
were
did
in it
too.
last year, but we were not in it, so then they stopped really featuring us much. But I think that with the Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, and I think that has a chance to be a pretty fun one.
It was awesome. Guess what? The off-season one with the Giants was awesome. I just didn't have the hunger to watch it.
Well, they're not doing that anymore because
They can't.
I mean, the fact that those guys kept their jobs through that is flabbergasting.
It's stunning. And even the one that we were in around the AFC North, I had to make myself watch it. And it was good.
There's just so much football.
I'm so full of stuff to consume at that time of year.
Yeah.
Whereas, in August we're kind of hungry for it a little bit.
I got one other one. Personality sideline reporter.
Okay. Don't tell us who won. Tell us who they
All
are.
right. Your finalists are Jenny Dell from CBS,
Okay.
Kaylee Hartung from Prime Video and NBC, Tom Rinaldi, Holly Rowe, Lisa Salters, Tracy Wolfson.
I'm giving it to my dude Rinaldi. I love Rinaldi.
The one that I think asks the most pressing and probably gets the most out of it is probably Holly.
Holly's very good.
She's awesome. And it's a lot of college football that she does, so you probably might not see as much of it, even though
Yeah.
you are college football, Nate. But she will actually go toe-to-toe with the coach and
Push him.
push. Yeah, it's not she does a really good job with it. Yeah,
Your
those
winner
are
was-
all pros.
Your
though.
winner was Tracy Wolfson.
Yeah.
Wolfson's good.
She's very good. She's very good.
Michigan.
Is she?
Yeah.
How about that?
Adam Schefter reporting 10 minutes ago the NFL needed 24 votes to ban the tush push, but only got 22. Here are the 10 teams that voted against the tush push ban: the Eagles, the Ravens, the Lions, the Jags, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Saints, the Jets, the Titans, and the Cleveland Browns.
Let's go.
Let's
Coach
go.
Coach said he didn't. He's like, I'm not rocking the boat. If someone's doing something well, you got to beat it.
It's very interesting that Buffalo voted against it because they used it as much as Philly,
Buffalo did not vote against it.
or that they voted to ban it.
They voted to ban it. Correct.
Yeah, because they did it as much as Philly.
Yeah.
Which is
Jason
pretty wild.
Kelsey flew in today to
Yeah, I
lobby,
saw that.
which was
That's
pretty
But
cool.
then didn't talk to the media.
Doesn't
So
need to. Zips in. He is the media now.
That's what
Why does he need to talk to him?
it is interesting, though, if you think about the fact that John Gannon was on their staff before becoming the head coach of the Cardinals, and Shane Steichen was on their staff before becoming the head coach of the Colts, and they both voted to ban it. Kellen Moore, who was just there and is now the
Yep.
head coach of the Saints, voted to keep it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Cheers finale, 93 million according to Reddit, worked 40% of the U.S. population
Think about
at
that.
the time. What's even more staggering is MASH was 105 million. Seinfeld was 76. Like almost 8 years later, whatever, and still
Yeah.
did 76 million people for that. We'll get your second hour of the program up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. And single game tickets on sale now. Secure your seats today for the top matchups Huntington Bank Field during the 2025 season. Don't wait. Head to browns.com/tickets now. Let's go around the sports world. Talked a lot about the NFL owners meetings wrapped up in Minneapolis. Some of the main takeaways: the NFL did in fact approve player participation in flag football for the 28 Olympics. Flag football in the Olympics will consist of 6 men's teams and 6 women's teams composed of 10 players per team. The game will be played 5-on-5. The Goodell quote is this: "It's an incredible honor for any athlete to represent their country in the Olympics, which is the pinnacle of global sport. I know firsthand that the inclusion of flag football in the Olympics has spiked a tremendous amount of excitement among NFL players interested in having a chance to compete for their country on the world stage. We're thrilled that they will now have that chance." Okay. Is it just one U.S. team? One American team? Because sometimes they have multiple
Is
teams.
that it?
I don't know. Some of these events they have. Otherwise, it'll be 6 American teams.
I didn't know if it was
So-
6 teams meant 6 from America. You're saying there's 6 teams total in the competition.
It seems like there's 6 teams. Yeah, flag football in the Olympics will consist of 6 men's teams and 6 women's teams.
Huh.
That's probably all there is. How many countries could even put a team together?
I mean, everybody can put a team together.
Can they?
I do think, though, that guy who was saying that he's the flag football wizard,
Yeah.
he should get a team with no NFL. There should be 2 American teams. There should be the NFL team
And
and
then
then
this.
that dude's team.
That guy's
and then
team.
if they win it, like,
He could
that'd
be
be-
like what happened. Like, remember in the Soviet Union, it collapsed and they were the unified team?
yeah,
Like he's on the unified team.
yeah. But he should get his own. I
Can you
think they
imagine
should.
if they have a true qualification? Can you imagine if there are? I mean, how many NFL teams would there be that were quarterbacked by NFL quarterbacks?
6.
No. 6 get into the thing.
Oh,
I'm
you're
saying,
saying-
there has to be qualification.
So you could put together.
Think about when you like
put
Olympic
together-
trials for swimming, right?
Yeah.
You have how many people in an event? Is
Right.
it
It probably starts at, well, you've
10
got
lanes, right?
10 lanes, and you've got
How many
probably
heats?
6 heats
To get to the final?
to get to the final 10.
Okay. So like are there 20 US flag
put
football
together
teams
30 teams.
that becomes a tournament into one? That's what I want to see. I don't the 6.
No, you don't
Yeah,
want.
I don't know what
you
6
can't risk.
teams.
I think you're saying we're doing one team of these guys.
Oh, who are I going to decide who's on it?
It's the czar. Let us do it.
Well, I don't think that's very likely, but I'd love to do it.
We should be. Our ideas are excellent.
That was such a perfect line. You said it so earnestly.
I'm serious.
I know you.
We should be
I
the
know,
sports stars.
but it-
We
it
solve
was-
a lot of
We
problems.
solve a lot of problems. It was a lot like Costanza when he goes, "You always said I make good comments," and then Jerry goes, "Well, they usually give those jobs to former baseball players." And he goes, "Well, you said I make great comments."
Well, in that case,
You
I've
did.
I've done
It's
it.
a- it's a
I've
great-
actually done the
you've
Costanza.
Done it.
I've done it.
You've
Yeah.
done it. You've done it. No, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to decide
Here,
what 12 guys make it. We did it yesterday.
Yeah,
we
we'll do
did
it
the
yesterday.
teams, but like what do you do if we know Mahomes wants to do it?
Lamar.
Like he
Chase,
said he wants to do it.
Lamar, Chase, and Metcalf are 3 locks.
Yeah, I like that.
Please,
Come on.
please,
Put all 3 of them in the mix.
please. One representative
So-
from those 3 teams.
Yeah.
Locks.
It
Yeah.
says the U.S. is guaranteed a spot in both the men's and women's.
No kidding.
The other qualifying teams will be determined based on International Federation of American Football rankings.
Wait, what did you just say?
So there must be some rankings of
Welcome.
national teams, and so like there's not gonna be a qualifying tournament like each country I think that is on that list.
Okay,
is
so
gonna
what
pick their
happens to
best
the
team.
poor guy that you referenced?
He
This
needs.
has been
He's
his
an.
dream.
This is why we are doing. Why we are the czars.
Yeah.
Automatic bid for flag football Mahomes, as he calls himself. That guy's automatically in. 2 is an NFL team. My guess is beyond that. I mean, I feel like we should get a German team. Then the Hoff can coach him.
Oh, I love that.
They tell you a story of the Hoff's buddy Parker, who was his assistant O-line coach.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say that on the air?
You
I just
did,
tell
you
I
did
did do
on the
that.
air, yeah.
Just could you imagine just like
Stumbling
randomly
in.
in Germany, and you're going to go and
I'm going to
assistant
volunteer.
O-line coach.
I played a little ball.
Yeah, and it's Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas is sitting there. I'd want the Italians involved.
Yep, definitely.
I think you're going to need England.
Really? I don't know.
I
if we're
feel
gonna
like
get a
the
lot of-
rugby component.
and then I think
France has got a.
I think we need
You need
either
Brazil?
Mexico or a Brazil.
Brazil, I think, would thrive. Feel like they would get it done.
Brazil. Okay, there's the format.
What
Done.
do you do if you're Flag Football Jones here, and all of a sudden, like we have like an American tryout, and he's in the quarterback line with Mahomes and Burrow and Jackson and Allen.
He needs his own team. There are professional flag football players.
I understand.
They need their own
Here's
team.
the problem. That the idea that somehow it's a grossly different game is utter nonsense.
Well, that's why I want to see it.
It's so stupid.
I want to see if they can even
This
get
would be
past.
like it'd be like when they do that stupid 3-on-3 in the basketball. Why do you already have basketball. It's in the game. I don't need to see more of the basketball. So like if the 3 best NBA players put together a team, they would win the 3-on-3.
All right,
They should be allowed to.
Here's a new rules. I've thought about it. All right, we're gonna go with
Bizarre.
an
Go ahead.
NFL team.
Yeah.
Flag football. Mahomes gets to pick his team, whoever he wants.
Whoever's on his team,
His-
he's that great.
that
Yeah.
he thinks are the best, the 10 best in the world. Then we're gonna go a Europe team. We're gonna go
Oh, I like that. Europe,
a
whole
Latin
continent.
American team.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with an Asian team and an African team,
Okay.
and that's it. And that's
That's all you need. Go
Oh, yeah.
continents.
yeah,
I
basically.
like where your head's at. Go continents.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do.
I don't have a problem with that. What would you install? So you have Flag Football Jones versus the NFL guys. What is the line?
I'm gonna just assume, like, let's say an average game is gonna be the NFL team. I'm gonna use as an average is gonna score 70,
Okay.
and I think they're gonna beat every other continent's team like 70 to 30. I think.
Do you even think they'd score 4 touchdowns? Like if we tried,
It's flag football, yeah.
right? But like if Denzel Ward was like, "Yeah, I got Giuseppe, the receiver from Italy." Like, really? What are you going to do?
There's gonna be a pretty smooth moving Croatian out there. It's gonna be able to get
Luka
open.
Modric?
Yeah, somebody.
But
like
hey,
that.
Even
could you be
Isevic
the
at
quarterback
quarterback?
for Team Croatia?
You
I
could
think
be. Maybe
he
you
is.
could be the quarterback for Team
Whoa.
Croatia.
Then we
We're
get
on
zero.
to something now.
Then we get zero.
Like I just don't.
No,
It's
I could
hard
get
for me to
touchdown. All right,
find
so
a
let's
scenario
say
where like
70 to 20, and then I think against like Flag Football Jones, I think that's a 70 to 35.
So you're more generous than me. I think it would be like 70 to 20 NFL against Flag Football Jones, and I think it'd be 70 to 2 NFL guys against the rest of the world's guys. Like if they tried. Now, inevitably,
It could
what'll
be
happen is
0.
you're going to get a bunch of points, and you're going to be kind of like, just all right, let's just go through the motions.
Yeah.
But like if you would like truly locked in and covered, I don't know how you would ever move the ball. How would you get separation?
The one thing I
from
would say,
Surtain and Denzel and Stingley.
one
I
of
just
the
don't know how you get separation.
yes, I think they can, but you can't like. It's not like you go out there. You're playing bump and run. I don't think you're allowed to bump and run in flag football. Maybe you are. I don't know.
I think you can bump
do
a
think,
little.
though, there are, and I know this is going to sound crazy when I say it out loud, and I'm aware of that. There are schemes and plays and little nuances to flag football that have to be different than the route combinations they're used to seeing in the NFL. Part of the reason they're so good is not only they're such supreme athletes, but then they also understand everything they're seeing. They're going to be stuff that they haven't seen before. I think like
is
flag.
there, you
I think
think?
flag football, Mahomes guy. I think they're running all kinds of weird stuff. They got to be.
Like misdirection and
Yeah,
like
and he's like they win all the time.
hook and ladder.
So like there are other good. There's plenty of flag football teams that are like.
What
For
are
example, when I was playing in Georgia,
Yeah.
a lot of the guys that were on my team are guys that for sure could have been in the league, but were not for a
Yeah.
variety of reasons of things that happened to a
yeah.
lot of kids in Georgia and Florida and whatnot.
Yeah, I dealt with that in
So
Tallahassee.
like there are people out there that are that good of athletes.
There are. I agree. There are, but I think they primarily live in the United States of America.
Fair, but that's
That
why
play
I think
football.
that's why I think this flag football guys team, the athletic disparity might not be as great as people think, and then all these guys do is play flag football.
Which further buttresses my point. If you imagine how pissed off he is.
Like I
This
think
is all he's dreamed about his whole life is for this to be an Olympic sport, and now he gets it, and now he's got to compete.
that's why he gets to have a team, and I
Yeah.
think they
We're
win
number
the
one, by the
I
way.
think they win the silver medal.
If they're in it,
I think-
Oh, for sure, they're the number one team. If I assume he's quarterbacking it, Red at Work, who's just, I mean, he's basically like a viral G-man today.
He's
He's
doing
got the
fantastic.
rankings: USA, Austria, Mexico, Germany, France, Italy, Switzerland, Israel, Panama, Japan, Denmark, Canada, New Zealand, Great Britain, Spain.
Didn't hear Croatia in there.
Did not hear Croatia.
Well, that's why we got to go continents. They have no chance just with individual countries. You need to combine.
I don't think you have any
the
chance
best
either.
of this. I don't think they do
I
either.
want our flag
I don't think
football
they. I don't think the rest of the world
championship
can
team to
beat
be
flag football.
qualifying.
Jones.
Flag football Jones is the number one team on the planet right now.
Right.
If that's him, and he's going to be robbed of competing in the Olympics.
That's why he needs a team, dude. This is why we.
I
need to be
agree.
in charge.
I just don't know that the IOC is going to grant you your. You almost have to. It almost has to be like a what's the movie with Michael Jordan, the Monstars.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
I just think if this guy has led his team to be the best in the world, they deserve to be in the Olympics.
I agree. I think it sucks that
And he's already given you the promos and the hype where he's saying that they would beat them. So that gold medal game is actually going to have some juice. Way more juice than the U.S. against anybody else in the world.
So theoretically, we have Joel Bitonio in here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's ask him.
Okay.
Let's ask him. But he might not also have the.
We need a skill position guy.
You need a skill guy. Yeah, you need a skill guy because that's all it's going to be is
I want to ask like Jerry Jeudy would be a good one.
Imagine
to ask.
covering him in flag football with his route ability.
Of course. But he would, I think, also
And
be
Denzel
aware
would be
of the how many people of you. What the question is, how many people of your ability, and I don't think there are a ton, but how many people of your ability did you come across who never even went to college or never even went to a big college for?
Oh, there's a great
reasons?
many. I used to say all the time when I first moved to Ohio, it's not the kids who make it in North Florida and South Georgia, it's the kids who don't. For various reasons, that don't get to Big State U. There's a lot of them that don't. But what I don't know is if those guys, do they find a way to flag football? I don't know.
Definitely some on my team
Well,
when
there's
we won
there's
the Georgia
city,
State Championship.
City League guys and state, that type of stuff. But in
no
terms
doubt
of
in my mind.
could they get to that point? We'd have to see.
I could throw the ball the second I got it.
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating slightly, but basically the second I got it and throw it as far as I could, I could not overthrow these guys. I mean, they were like blurs. I just had to get the ball to them, and it was
Somewhere down there. They're down there somewhere.
it was nuts.
Yeah. I feel like Denzel and Judy would be who I want to talk to about this.
Yeah, they're the two.
Those would be the two that I would want to hear. Because I think Denzel's the best mirror corner in the NFL. So what would
I think
what would
MJ
that look like?
Emerson and Delpit would be good ones to talk to too. I think
Yeah.
they probably would have seen a lot of good athletes in their day.
No doubt. The Detroit Lions have withdrawn their proposal to revamp playoff seeding, and the proposal teams would have been seeded by record and division champs not to receive the 4 highest seed. The proposal was instigated by the NFL. I don't know what the NFL, if the NFL wanted the Lions to do. That had to be a television partners motivated, right? Don't you think?
It's still garbage because the schedule's not the same.
No.
If you wanted to, here's what you could do. If you really wanted to do and make it perfectly equitable, this just popped into my head. So bear with me. We're feeling it out. This isn't one where I'm going to say it's an excellent idea yet, but it might be.
Could be.
2 conferences
Yep.
of 16 teams. Okay? You play everybody in your conference, okay, once.
Okay.
You play the teams that were in your original division twice, home and home. So that gives you 15, 17, 19. So that's a 21-game schedule, so we can't do that. So you play everybody in your division. I guess it would be
No,
that
you
gets
just
you 18.
to do it, you would have to do.
No, wait, I'm right. I am right. Hold on. Yes, that is right. 15 games. You play everybody in your conference once.
Yep.
And you play the only ones you do home and home with are your 3
that
original
gets you to
division
18.
mates, and that makes an 18-game schedule. So you'll never play NFC teams except in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But that is going to allow for pure
Then you have balance.
pure seeding in both divisions, in both
Yeah,
conferences.
Both conferences. That would get your
Pure
balance.
seeding.
Yeah.
Because you can really say the only 3 out of 18 games, so a sixth of your schedule is unique to you, to
Yes.
your old division.
Old
so
division.
it keeps those. So we would always play home and home with the Steelers, always home and home with the Ravens, always home and
Yeah.
home with the Bengals.
And then you'd play
we'd
everybody
in the
else.
AFC once.
Once. Half. Yeah. That's not bad. That's not bad. Would you miss playing teams in the NFC?
No.
It's so funny. I've lost so much track of baseball, but the idea that, when we were growing up, obviously they didn't. You saw them in the All-Star game, and that was it.
Yep.
And then they went interleague, and now I think they're balanced, aren't they? You play everybody the same. Isn't that the deal?
I think so.
So-
I think what would be cool about this too is
But I wouldn't miss not playing the
By the way, the
49ers
Vikings haven't
or
played here
whatever.
since 2009. Does anybody say anything about it?
Nobody
No.
says anything. Yeah.
You have, so that gives you, you'd have 9 home, 9 road every year. My guess is you're going to end up with one of those is automatically going to be international. And so they'd have to alternate each year. One team would give up a home game, and then the next year they'd give up a road game.
Yeah.
They get to be the road. So you always have 9. You're guaranteed 8 home games every year. So same as now. And then, you go and you go you get the international. It's an 18-game schedule, 2 byes. The rivalries you'd be able to make in conference would be much better
Oh yeah.
because you're home and home every other year.
Yeah.
You're here, there,
I wouldn't
here,
miss
there.
not playing NFC teams.
No.
I wouldn't miss it at all. Be fine.
And I think it's cool that you are able to maintain some of the originality in that we always play Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincy twice. I think I'm first throwing it out there right now. I'm pretty pleased with it.
I don't mind it.
Then you see the
I didn't know if your math was going to work right away because
Yeah.
I was adding 6.
I did too initially.
Instead of-
Yep.
instead
so
of
then
the
and
3.
then you seed 1 through 8. Half the teams make the playoffs every year. You seed
Yeah.
1 through 8, and then go.
And then I go.
And
1
make
plays
it-
8,
and-
2 plays 7, 3, 6, 5.
And
4,
I'm
5.
saying, and it's a straight bracket.
Yeah.
There's no like if
No. 1
8
plays 8, 2
if-
plays 7, and then 8 wins. 8 plays 4, 5.
8 plays 4, 5.
Yeah. Deal with it. Yeah. Top 4 seeds get buys. Or
That's
not home field. Top 4 get home fields. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Amendments to the onside kick have passed. Teams have declared for an onside kick at any time while trailing, not just in the fourth quarter, and line up 1 yard closer to the opponent. Success rate of onside kicks last year was just 6%.
Well, that's because you have to tell people.
Yeah.
Like, can we
Still
get
not
back
bad.
to that?
1 in 16.
1 in 16.
That's why you keep the cap on. By the way, I think my idea was so good
That you should walk.
that I'm leaving on
know.
a high
You think-
note.
you think you're gonna get
Costanza.
Better take your galoshes and umbrella.
Give me a Costanza. Give me a. All right, then. See you later.
All right, then we'll see you later.
Good luck. Hopefully it's relatively dry for you. All right, we got Shedeur Sanders from the podium coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Fans, Barking Backers official dog fan club of the Cleveland Browns is back for the 2025 season. Get your pup on the action with exclusive gear, events, and more. Memberships available now. Fetch yours today or gift a membership to a furry friend at barkingbackers.com. Barking Backers is presented by Milkbone in association with Embrace Pet Insurance and Pet Supplies Plus. And now we head to the podium. It's presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package day for the ultimate game day. New Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders from rookie minicamp.
What did you think of your first?
You're down.
I think there's a lot of stuff personally I can work on, but overall as a team, I think we came out great energy. The speed and everybody was working hard, working very fast, and being very efficient.
So Shedeur, Tom Brady talked about sending you a message after the draft. So what did you take away from that? His advice to you.
That was it. My story's gonna be similar. I was a late round draft pick, but we're here now, so none of that stuff matters. That just mattered on the day, and I'm just excited to be here and ready to work.
Shedeur, I know it's early, but have you been able to gravitate towards someone, attach yourself to someone in this building in your time here already?
Yeah, I say it's only really rookies in the building right now, and all of them real cool, and they got great personality. So I'm glad to have that team bonding, that team chemistry back, being, on your own with Pro Day and with the combine and everything is more individual for that. So being around that team environment, I'll say, is the best right now.
Shedeur, not many rookies or draft picks have the opportunity to have the President of the United States going to bat for you in the middle of the draft. So what was that like for you?
Oh, no, I was truly thankful. For it. Including him, there was a lot of fans, a lot of people in barbershops, a lot of hairstylists. There was a lot of just fans, of me and of my craft and of my family that was there to support. So I was just thankful that I have that foundation overall, just as people, and we all could come together as one.
Shedeur, you have incredible popularity, but you're just starting your career. Immensely popular. Why do you think that is?
Why do you think?
You're likable.
Well, yeah. I guess that's what it is. I just be myself every day. I can't control what's external. I can only control what's internal.
But with that, Shedeur, how do you block all that stuff out and be a football player?
By doing what my dad raised me to do since I was like 5 years old. I seen it. I seen what he was able to do, and I have a lot of great resources and mentors, to keep me on the right track. And especially coming to this building, we have great coaches in the building, able to, keep me focused, keep me in a straight, narrow line.
How do you what's the balance between knowing you're competing and wanting to be the starter here for a long time, but also being right here, just getting started?
Well, of course, it's day by day. I just find something I want to perfect and just perfect it to the best of my abilities, and that's all I really focus on, and just being there, just being a leader, being a great teammate, doing what I need to do whenever it is. So I'm just thankful for an opportunity. Things could have been a lot worse, but I'm here smiling in front of you all at this facility right now.
What's your interactions been like with Dylan since you guys have gotten into the building together?
Cool, normal. Yeah, it's been normal. He's a real cool guy overall. Yeah, you could tell he always have a great mood. He's always in a good mood. I only been around 2 days though, but he always have a great mood. But overall, I could tell he's a pretty good person.
Shedeur, how do you come in here? Just from a mental standpoint, in your approach, 5th round pick. They did draft Dylan 2 rounds in front of you, and you come into basically a 4-man quarterback competition for potentially a starting job in your rookie year.
I just feel like in life and everything, it's just me versus me. I can't control any other decision besides that, so I just try to be my best self at all times.
Shedeur, can you talk about the community work you've done so far here since you've gotten to Cleveland?
Yeah, so typically every state I go to, I don't really be on social like that. I got people that just run it for me and stuff. So what I find fun and interesting, and it's a lot of just, I don't know, it's just joy to me, is just going to those high schools, middle schools, and just, you know, engaging with the younger kids, you know, because they minds not corrupted of other people's opinions. So that's why I find joy and happiness going to different schools and being able just to talk to them and see the joy on their face because they followed the journey. So even through everything, whenever it was going crazy, wild, negative, everything, my happiness was going there. So that's what I always resort to. I always like send pizza to their school, like show them like, you know, that I'm still able to connect with them. They still able to connect with me. And eventually I was supposed to get on the game with them also, but I don't have my game out here right now.
So that was the plan regardless of the slide in the draft, right? You're coming right
yeah.
All
you gotta do is just look it up. You'll see the history. I don't do anything for PR. I don't do anything because anywhere I go, you know, cameras will come. So it's not really nothing I typically try to do. It's just, you know, my life and just what it came with.
It seems like you have really kept your head up, you've kept your spirits up. Mm-hmm. You always have a smile on your face, even in the wake of tumbling to the 5th round of the draft. Mm-hmm. So how have you been able to do that? I mean, you just didn't let this...
I mean, you just got to step back and look at life. Like, you're in a great situation overall that you're able to be healthy. You know, that's one thing going through, you know, even with my brother going through an injury and my pops and everybody in the family, like, you value life and you value opportunity and just waking up every day a different way. So that's kind of why it's nothing for me to really, no matter what, in any situation, I can't really be fazed by it. You know, it's like playing quarterback. You go down there, you may have not scored the whole game or whatever, but then when it gets to that final 2 minutes and it's time to lock in extra, you can't be in your feelings. You can't be down about anything. You know, you still got another chance.
You said you like the kids because their minds aren't corrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Corrupted as in, like, other people's opinion of you, like, they go based off their own, you know, so they don't have 99% of hatred is, you know, towards Pops, and then I'm just his son. So it really just comes from that, and I told him that too. But, you know, it just comes from him. But then, you know, they didn't grow up in an era to where, you know, they watched him play, so they don't have anything too much negative, whether they say flashy, this, that. Like, this the older generation that do it to me rather than the younger people. Because when I come in person, there's no negativity I see, but it's all over online. So that's why I say I like going in person and actually meeting them. And any questions they have, I say, just ask me whatever question you want. Pick any question. No filter, no anything.
I know. I know.
One second, I got you. But yeah, that's what they say, and then I just answer whatever they need me to answer. But the most question they asked me was just like, how is it mentally going through all this? And I just told them it's just like playing quarterback, so I can't be fazed by it.
I know your dad in the pre-draft process had said, like, with everything you've dealt with attention and scrutiny, that you're very well prepared, in his opinion, to take on everything that comes with being in the NFL. Just what has that been like, I guess, throughout your life, and how has he helped you navigate that, especially these last few years?
I say definitely he gave us the spotlight to be able to do that, so he gave us the opportunity. That's all you can ask for in anybody's job and anybody's profession, is just an opportunity to give a chance. The rest after that is on you. So I'm taking every snap out there, you know. I'm getting up after these hits. I'm the one throwing touchdowns. I'm the one, you know, they got to live it day by day. So that's all he gave us was the opportunity, and we had to navigate and see what we like about. And that's why I study people, honestly. I study people, see how they handle certain things, see what they do, see different people's tendencies when it's going on. So you won't ever really be able to tell, you know, when I'm frustrated and when I'm not feeling good or anything, because I watch, even self-reflecting, you know, years, even just on sidelines and stuff, you know, I feel like I could have handled better situations because it was misunderstood by the mass, but I understood. But, you know, I don't want anybody to form negative opinions, you know, about me, and it's something I could change. So I just took that type of leadership ability within myself to not give that vibe off or not give off that different type of aesthetic or negativity.
Go ahead.
When you say watching people, like, do you just mean like in general or teammates or
No,
other quarterbacks? Like,
watching people is like other successful people. It's not just a position. I say it's just everybody in life, because like people in life they go through different challenges, but it's similar. So if it's a financial guy and his business is crashed or something, like, how is he throughout those moments? You know, like, is he frantic? Like, is he out of character? So that's why whenever you seen the draft and all that stuff happen, and everything was live. So I was normal, and I'm normal throughout everything, because all it is what's the next step. So I was just thinking, you know, what's next?
Speaking about that, you know, when you got
take 3 more.
When you got that phone call, your family friend Book said that you kind of just let it roll right off your back. You went to throwing the football right after.
Yeah.
Where does that mindset come from?
Well, I jumped in the pool. But I don't even try to think about that day, because I got practice, you know. So all that stuff was cool for that time. But now, you know, I got practice. I got to learn the playbook. So.
Could you see how it would be?
Just where are you at? And
we're on day 2.
How's it different? How's it different compared to Colorado and Jackson State?
Well, of course, it's the league, so you know it's longer, of course. But learning, I feel like I'm on track. Like how you feel like any day 2 system.
Can you see how it would be?
Jimmy K. Martin and Mary Kay.
Can you see how it would be hard for someone like Dylan to share a quarterback room with you, given all of your popularity?
I just live in my own perspective. I don't live in other people's perspective of how somebody would feel over anything. You know, I don't feel any type of way as a person in anybody's situation. Like, if it's something I like, it's something I respect it. You know, like I don't have any type of negativity or hate in my thought process. So I don't know how to answer that question, truthfully.
Shedeur, you had said things could have been worse.
Mm-hmm.
You're healthy, you're blessed, you're happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But as a guy who, even people in this building, other places have said you don't have day 3 talent. So what's the mindset now as far as the opportunity that's in front of you, as far as proving the type of NFL quarterback you could be?
I mean, thank you for saying that, because I don't, like, my job here isn't to prove people wrong. Like, I prove myself right. That's and I fully have self-belief, you know, and what those people say, that's just their opinion. So I don't truly care. They don't really live in my mental space about that type of stuff. It really doesn't do anything for me.
Shedeur, hopefully end up with kind of a fun one here, and that is the Cavs showed you some love and some support throughout this process. And just wondering, have you caught Cavs fever a little bit? What do you think of Donovan Mitchell, and do you think you can get yourself down to one of these games and join in on some of the fun?
Yeah, so of course I want to go to the game, but I gotta, of course, bring some teammates with me. So we're gonna see. Hopefully they make it down the stretch, and then we'll be able to catch one, you know, with a lot of teammates. A lot of stuff for me don't excite me anymore personally. So like I like having an atmosphere like friends, family, you know, around, and being able to share the same experience with them. So I seen they won yesterday. But like I said, I was focused on the playbook. I couldn't even watch the game. So that was pretty much it. But no, I respect everything they're doing. And the downtown, the poster is real nice on there. That's really cool. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here.
I know you couldn't get 2, but did you take 12 just because of the grade? Everyone's wondering why you took 12. Can you kind of explain that, or what happened?
Why I took number 12? It was the best available number for me. That's it.
Will you try to buy 2 from DeAndre?
Nah, I'm not trying to buy anything. My signing bonus ain't that high right now.
All right, there you go, Shedeur Sanders from the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Know a young Browns fan in the making? Join Junior Browns Backers, official kids club for ages 4 to 12, presented by University Hospitals, Rainbows Babies and Children's in association with Cardinal Credit Union. Joined by June 8th to secure an invite to the first event of the season, Field Day. Visit juniorbrownsbackers.com to join now. So much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Any of that stuff pique your interest last night, Gibbe? Thunder, Wolves, Panthers, Canes.
Thunder won game 1, right?
Yeah,
I went to bed. They outscored them like 70-40 in the second half. Am I correct on that?
It was beat down.
Yeah,
it was.
I mean, tonight's the one.
I'm wondering if my nostalgia kicks in. Just seeing those two teams a little bit. It's hard for me to watch the East now, especially with the Tatum injury and what happened in Boston. Not just think, my God, Cleveland, was this the year?
Yeah,
like this was.
It was all
if you're
there
healthy,
in front of
it
you.
was all there. I don't know if anyone was to beat. I don't know if them or anyone's going to beat Oklahoma City, but you know what? I was talking to Jake Trotter this morning, a great friend of the program here on Cleveland Browns Daily, and he said something that I had never heard before. Obviously, he's an Oklahoma City native, Oklahoman, and I asked him about
2 minutes
OKC and kind of everything that went into it, and he said, "Do you know that the reason that the Oklahoma City are in, or the Thunder are in Oklahoma City, in part is because of the Columbus Blue Jackets?" And what I did not realize is Oklahoma City, after the bombing, built a stadium because they didn't want to be known as that. So they built an arena in downtown, and it was between them and the Columbus Blue Jackets for the NHL expansion team for the last one. And Columbus got it. And so OKC had this downtown venue with nobody in it, and it just so happened to time out to where when Katrina happened with New Orleans, they balled out, supported the team, sold it out, and then Stern was like, hey, this might be a good market, and that led to Clay Bennett and all those guys buying Seattle and then moving them to Oklahoma City. But I had no idea that they finished second to Columbus for the NHL expansion franchise, and that's what led to the
Could have
building
had an
being
NBA
built.
team in Columbus.
Well, that's I like the Blue Jackets a lot, but that's where I went. I went, wait a second. You tell me that I could have had Durant
1 minute
to talk about for a decade?
Wow, Ohio State football into Durant?
Jeez. It's a hell of a what if.
That's a gold.
When you do that, that would have been let's make those off seasons a lot easier down 71 South for a couple hours a day in the morning. All right, the next level is coming up next. We are back tomorrow. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns.